Today's show is sponsored by our friends Oxford Natural and their all new improved Optimum Day and Night. I've been using it and feeling the effects, Dr. Andre, but how does this even work?
Well, it controls energy, it helps with weight control and sugar control.
And there's day and there's night. What does the night do?
Well, the night means you get a deep, restful sleep. It contains magnesium to help you relax, but at the same time, it's still controlling sugar all night.
Now, it's not a magic pill, but it is gonna help you with your health goals, isn't it, Andre?
Changing metabolism takes time. 90 days, so take the 90-day Optimum Challenge.
So what are you waiting for? Scan the QR code on screen to get up to 70% off your first order using code UnitedView. No gimmicks, no needles, just results. Oxford Natural, let's get to work. People, what's going on? Welcome back to United View and welcome to another video alongside the main man, the main doctor, Mr. Dr. Andre.
Mr. Doctor.
Mr.
is my
Doctor.
official
I want to
title.
add more letters before your name so it's like pieces of doctorness.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's lovely to be back. It's lovely to be back.
It's really good to have you. We need your expertise. I really do enjoy these videos. Everybody else does as well, because when we have injuries and when we have issues and mysteries, we need to debunk them. We need to debunk the myths from the facts. Now, obviously, we never claim to have certain players' medical records to claim like we've seen them and Dr. Andre has analysed them and assessed them, so this is it. But in terms of certain injuries in general, it helps to give us a really, really big picture of what's going on. And you've been doing some digging into today's topic, which is Matthijs de Ligt and back injuries, because you guys know already what's the channel. Matthijs de Ligt's been out for going on 3 months now with a potential, with a reported back injury.
Yeah.
We were told quite early that, a couple of weeks. Then it's all little setback. Then it's, he's doing really well. Don't want to push it. And before you know it, it's where we are now, which is 3 weeks. So we wanted to explore back injuries.
3 months now.
3 months, exactly. We wanted to explore further just the difficulties and the intricacies that are around back injuries, especially one in society, just as us as normal mortals, and then footballers, because, I guess it comes with different strains, right?
I mean, everyone will get backache at some point. There are many causes of backache, and we can use the vagueness about his injury to do a whistle-stop run through the 5 main causes of back pain in a footballer, and also in the general public. So back pain is out there. If you've not had it before, it's coming to you one day, whether it's strain, sprain, sciatica. We can explain what those things are, and also maybe some advice as what you can do when you get those types of injuries. But yeah, let's get into...
Let's do it, because Dr. Andre never comes empty-handed. He comes with diagrams ready to help us, yeah? And that is what you've been doing. So
yeah, as always, we're pushing the boundaries of what YouTube and we can do. Okay, so the back is made of muscle, ligament, bone, discs, and nerves. And something there has gone wrong. And the most common thing to go is your first level of protection, which is the movable muscles. So a muscle injury is known as a strain, okay? Ligament injury known as a sprain. So a back strain is a tear of muscle.
So sprains are...
Sprains are ligament injuries.
Yes.
And a strain
is a muscle injury.
Okay. So we can see, I'm going to quickly do my magic here.
Yes.
Okay. Look at this.
All works.
Fantastic. All works. Okay. So this is our zone. I'll go the other way first, sorry. This is our zone here. So the muscle fibers have torn. This is, I think, perhaps less likely to be his injury. I mean, because they're generally simple. You get a linear tear, it heals with scar tissue, you're out for a few weeks, there's some localized spasm around the area that causes tightness. If ever you've had a back injury, what tends to go first after the pain is your range of motion. So why can't you move when you tear these things? It's because the muscle local to the tear has contracted, it's gone into what we call spasm, and that's painful because the muscle's contracted all the time, so it's like cramp. Now, a tear needs to heal. You want one surface to connect with the other surface. And like fixing an ornament or a model, you need it to hold steady and still to glue together. So the spasm holds the muscle still so it can glue. So that injury, normally maybe a 3, 4, 6 week injury. And you're thinking, well, if it was a simple sprain, that normally wouldn't be what would keep you out for 10 weeks, 12 weeks. That's not that. Maybe it's something a bit more complex than that. So we'll move on to sprains. Okay. So next pick. Okay. So there are joints in the back. They're called facet joints. The back is a series of blocks stacked on each other. And where one block meets another, there's a little budge up and a little bulge down, making called the facet joint, where the movement happens. And that facet joint, like an ankle joint or any joint, is surrounded by thick ligaments to keep it supported. Now, if you excessively turn, twist, you can overstretch the ligament. That tears and bleeds, and that's a ligament sprain. Okay, localized bleeding. The bleeding also triggers a spasm reaction, causing limited movement. And there we have the facet joint sprain. So this could be a bit slower to recover. It would limit your spinal extension, your spinal flexion, all the freedom of movement you need to be an adequate defender. You've got to jump, leap, twist and turn, get close to players. If he's lost that range of motion, and this is a slower healing injury, perhaps that's why he's taking a bit longer.
Could this happen through, so maybe in Licht's case or any footballer's case, could this happen through impact or overextending, hyperextending or something like that, hyperflexing? Or could it happen from just by accident, you could just wake up inflamed and this is causing you an issue over a period of time? It's
less traumatic. Okay, not really a contact injury, more a movement injury, just the movement going beyond. It happens when you get tired in the game. Obviously, when you're getting more fatigued, your muscles are tired. The muscles protect the joint from excessive movement. When the muscles are tired, they're not able to kick in and protect it quite the same way. There's too much rotation, too much shear, and the fibers then give. So normally it's a movement issue. And you might do it in a game subtly, but then overnight, when the bleed increases from the torn ligament, the muscle spasm kicks in, and you wake up the next morning, suddenly you're locked up. So what happens in car accidents? You get a car crash, you get jolted, you get the little bleed, but the next day, the bleed's increased. The muscle spasm has kicked in, and you wake up the next day and you can't move classically. So it could be a facet joint injury.
Can it build up over time as well? Like, say a player's had a niggle from first game of the season, so fuck, feel it a bit, but I'm good, I keep going. And then they build up that load, and then, like you said, it just kicks in. Yeah. And then like, I can't run. Or, or I'm feeling consistent discomfort where they're like, we don't want to keep pushing that because you keep feeling discomfort. Because some of the reports were saying that every time he's tried to come back, I know I'm fast forwarding a little bit here, but every time he's tried to maybe come back, he's felt discomfort again, then sort of retreated from the training.
Yeah. So it could be that it's just not quite settled in a way that is symptom-free, but it isn't fully structurally right yet. So when you put more forces through it, pain kicks in, and then it winds up getting stiff again. So it could be a facet joint injury. And the next consideration, okay, is a disc injury. I mean, they haven't specified that. So maybe you might do that, but this is the most common thing that you might experience in your life is sciatica. Okay, so the discs in the spine, we can see that this sort of purplish zone here. The disc is a shock absorber. It's a very powerful shock absorber. In some ways, it's stronger than the bone. Okay, so over time, the disc, which is like a jelly donut, it has like a jelly middle and a firm outside. And if it dehydrates, which happens naturally, eventually the little firm rings crack and the jelly moves out, and one day it perforates and comes here, as we can see. I just show you the zone we're thinking about. So this area here is wrong. Okay, it should be here. Okay, but it's bulged in this direction, and we can see, I'll move out of the way, we can see now it's pressing on this nerve.
So whether it's because the injury's here and is come out into the nerve and start pressing on it. That's when you start getting over it.
So the nerve is perfectly healthy, okay? The disc has deformed. It's probably ruptured here, okay? And this area here is swelling, okay? And that's encroaching on the nerve. And when you squeeze a nerve, you get pain.
It just looks like, touching that looks like it's just,
I mean, nerve pain. Yeah, nerve pain like tooth pain is just horrendous. and that will shoot right down the leg, okay? So, and eventually it affects also sensation. It'll be numb, and you can't walk properly. If you ever had sciatica, it's horrendously painful because of the nerve compression and again, the muscle spasm that goes with it. And normally that will settle by itself in 6 to 8 weeks because the swollen area here will recess and will be back to here. And this zone here, which is the swelling, will have gone, and then the pressure on the nerve will be released. So that is a classic case of sciatica. You can rupture your disc here, wouldn't cause too much pain, or here, but when it's by the nerve, and unfortunately it normally is by the nerve because anatomically that's where it's weakest, that's where you want it getting horrible sciatica pain zipping down your leg.
So out of these 3 that you've shown us, are you saying the middle one is the most likely for a footballer? I mean, look, listen, in everyday life, there's still human beings. In everyday life, you can develop sciatica, etc. From lifting things, twisting things. It could just develop from, you think, I don't know how, sleep funny, it starts pressing on nerves. But with the vigors of being a Premier League footballer, would the most likely be the one before this?
Yeah, and normally it'd be the first 2 are most likely ones. More a joint sprain injury probably is the most likely. Of greater concern will be the next one that we look at. Okay, so what do we see here? We see an issue that's more of a concern, almost like a stress fracture of the back. So if a player's been out for maybe 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, this is normally the issue. So basically the bones on this side are fine, okay?
So that's a healthy back.
Healthy back, okay? And what we see is there is a little zone, okay, just here, called the pars denticularis, and that is a stable part of the bone, but over time it can form a stress fracture, okay? And we call this spondylolysis. Lysis means breakdown. The bone is broken down and now formed a little crack, okay? And that's tricky because that can be painful, sometimes not painful. This is the one that tends to develop gradually over time.
Feel something, you're not 100%.
Yeah, it's slow. It's sort of just gradually creeps up on you. The more you extend the spine, the worse it gets. So that can be an issue. Worse than that, if that starts to extend and the gap gets bigger, you wind up with this situation.
Well, actually, sorry, before you get to that, if you spot this, is there like scans / x-rays that can go, right, we're going to diagnose you with this.
Yes.
You've got spondylolysis now.
Yeah.
So what we need to do to stop you getting to this bit where it actually breaks is such and such treatment. And that's why you're going to be out for ages, because we can't keep pushing.
Yeah, that's right. So we'd see that we need to be cautious with that. And let's see if that can heal over time. They can sort of bond together. There's not such an issue. Some players have that for life. Yeah. They always have it, and it's not a problem.
Like some of the old school players, they're always playing.
Yeah, because the muscles will protect it. You can have that and be pain-free sometimes too.
Right.
So this sort of slippage is allowable in some players, but sometimes it becomes painful. And when it becomes unstable, as you can see when it separates, then this is called spondylolisthesis. Even that can be pain-free sometimes, okay? But when this starts to go this way and separate, and you can see that's a potential major issue. Not that I think it's that, okay, but that would be the concern. If that was to be symptomatic, that can be an issue, because ultimately you might need a pin to put that in and put that back together. Yeah. So these are just the common types of back issues that we can see.
And this is why you look at maybe with how the Licht's been, he's been out for so long, and when you hear back injury, you just get worried. And look, I can tell why they don't like to sort of release. It's like they slow release the details of the injury, or well, not even details, or like the length of it. Yeah. You know, we've heard it with Mason Mount many times. We're not even going to talk. We don't know. I don't know what's wrong with him, so we haven't even been able to look at that. But his has been muscular in the past with certain things like hamstrings, etc. I want to say hip, but I'm not sure on that one. But definitely some muscular stuff. But at the start, you always get this from the managers that they don't want to commit. You know. Yeah. And I understand it, but it's, you know, he's picked up a knock. You know, at the minute, Lisandro Martinez, I think, has a calf strain. And it's like, no, you'd be fine, but actually you might be out for maybe 1 to 2 weeks. But and they thought he could be back for the next game. And at the time of recording, it looks like he will miss that game, actually. And, you know, and I suppose some of it's down to probably player privacy or not putting too much expectation, because you know what it's like with fans. It's like, well, why is he not back? When's he? Yeah. But then it's like they kind of stagger it out, and then 3 days, or what should have been 3 games, turns into 3 months. Yeah.
And as a fan, you always want all the information. You want to know everything.
With a back injury like that, would you probably know that you're going to be out a while here? Or is it that fair where it's like, no, we did think it was going to be 2 weeks, but the pain and the inflammation and this, that, and the other, you might have needed surgery, etc.
Yeah.
Could you need surgery? Do you need surgery on these types of?
I mean, certainly if they are unstable,
like you said with the
the last one there, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think the way it is with injuries is there are some things you know absolutely. Oh yeah. There's some things you know absolutely. Okay. And there are massive grey areas where some players are better in a week, 2 weeks, 4 weeks. There's just so much unknown. We're trying to give definitive answers in injuries of 1, 2, 3 weeks. And in medicine, that really never happens. Normally we deal in 6 weeks, 6 months, these sort of zones. But obviously with football, there's a need to know for Friday.
Yeah.
Okay. And
we've got a big game. We need to know.
It's not always realistic to know those things.
Yeah.
You know, if he broken his back, fair enough. You know what it
that's
was.
a different thing.
In the middle, it's always, and you don't want to be too negative or too get into the player's head that it's a 12-week injury, because then they might decide, well, I'll take 12 weeks then, because
and
you said
himself, it's a World Cup season. He was doing well to get back into the Netherlands team on the run, I believe, because he usually gets left out, but was playing really well this season. Started getting back in. He'll want to get himself back up there, but he faces a race against time, and I suppose that's the balancing act as well. Of I remember when Marcus Rashford, I think, had a shoulder injury. I want to say that he was harnessing for a long time. Is the back one where it's like, if the pain's not sort of out of this world, you can keep going and push and then delay your sort of off or delay your treatment? Or is it in such a significant area that it's just too painful, you're going to have to completely stop? You see some players kind of play through things until they get a break in play where they're like, the season's too busy, I'll wait to the end.
Yeah, I mean, I think lots of players will play through pain where you get limited movement is the issue. If you can't move the back foot,
you can't turn quickly.
Then you become simply a target.
Yeah.
And if there's pain going, searing pain down into your leg, that's normally unstable. So yes, you work at, is the injury stable, unstable? Is it making you more vulnerable from further injury? If it isn't those things and you're simply just sore but you can move, you give it a go.
Yeah. Dr. Andre, always a pleasure. I've definitely increased my back knowledge. And even like say people who you've got sciatica just in normal life, we all know how painful that can be, or back pain. The worst one for me is a stiff neck. Like, you just wake up, you don't know how, you go, I must have slept funny, and it literally feels like you're wearing a brace and you can't turn your neck. That's a killer. And try and just feels like your neck's going to snap off if you keep pushing. You go, oh no, I can't, and it just shoots down there. You're rubbing in your deep heat or your whatever. So we've all had our fair share of these strains and sprains that you're talking about, but hopefully Metabolism Ligt can get back fairly soon for his own chance of getting in the World Cup squad, and more importantly, obviously, for ourselves, selfishly, at United, he's been doing really well. So yeah, Andre, thank you very much for coming through.
You're welcome.
And I'm sure we'll see you again very, very soon.